The sun is lowering behind the hills, casting long shadows across the buildings and streets. Rome is built of brick and stone, concrete and marble. A city that feels permanent and solid underfoot. The streets are narrow in most places, winding between apartment blocks called insulae that rise several stories high, their walls stained with age and weather. These are not grand palaces, but ordinary dwellings where most Romans live, stacked vertically in a way that makes the city feel close and intimate despite its vast size. As evening approaches, the shops that line the ground floors of these buildings are beginning to close. A baker sweeps flour from his doorway, the day's bread long since sold. The scent of baking still lingers faintly in the air, mingling with the smell of wood smoke and the earthy aroma of the city itself. A butcher hangs a few remaining cuts of meat inside, away from the flies, ready to close his shutters for the night. The metalworker's hammer, which has been ringing all day, falls silent at last. People are making their way home, their sandals shuffling softly on the paving stones, the day's work behind them. A woman carries a basket of vegetables purchased late at the market, hoping for a bargain as vendors prepare to close. Two men walk together, deep in conversation, their voices low and companionable. A child holds his father's hand, tired from the day, his small feet dragging slightly. The streets are paved with large, flat stones, worn smooth by countless footsteps and cartwheels. Between the stones, grooves have been carved by centuries of use. There are stepping stones at intersections, raised blocks that allow pedestrians to cross without stepping down into the street, where water flows in channels, carrying away the day's waste toward the great sewers beneath the city. The engineering is practical and efficient, unseen but always working, keeping the city clean in ways that require no thought from those who live here. As we walk, we pass a fountain where water flows from a bronze spout into a stone basin. The sound is soothing, a constant, gentle splash that has played here for decades. A woman fills a jug, the water clear and cold, brought to the city by aqueducts that stretch for miles across the countryside, carrying mountain springs into the heart of Rome. She lifts the jug to her shoulder and turns for home, her movements practiced and sure. The light is fading now, the sky turning from gold to rose to violet. Lamps are being lit inside windows, small flames that flicker behind shutters, warm points of light appearing one by one as the city prepares for night. The air is cooling, pleasant after the warmth of the day. Somewhere a dog barks, somewhere a door closes with a soft thud. The sounds of evening are gentle and familiar, the settling of a city into its nighttime self. We find ourselves near a small neighborhood courtyard. a shared space between buildings where residents gather in the evenings. There are a few benches, a small shrine to the household gods, and a patch of garden where herbs grow in clay pots. An older man sits on one of the benches, enjoying the evening air. Two women talk quietly, their conversation unhurried, punctuated by occasional laughter. A cat whines between their feet, hoping for scraps. Inside one of the apartments, visible through an open door, a family is preparing the evening meal. The space is modest, a few rooms that serve as bedroom, living area, and kitchen all together. There is a small brazier where food is cooked, glowing coals providing heat and light. Someone stirs a pot of pulse, a porridge of grain that has been a staple of Roman meals since ancient times. Simple and filling. There might be some vegetables added, some cheese, perhaps a bit of garum, the fermented fish sauce that Romans use to add flavour to everything. The meal will be eaten without ceremony, the family gathering around a low table, or simply holding their bowls, sitting on stools or on the edge of the bed. There is bread to dip into the pottage, and wine mixed with water in the Roman fashion. Never drunk neat, except by those who wish to appear uncivilized. The food is plain but nourishing, enough to quiet the day's hunger and provide comfort before sleep. Children are already yawning, rubbed clean with cloths and dressed in simple tunics for sleeping. They curl up on their beds, pallets stuffed with straw or wool, covered with blankets woven by their mother or purchased from a market stall. Parents speak to them in low voices, soothing sounds that ease the transition from waking to sleep. The children's eyes grow heavy, their breathing slows, and soon they are drifting away, lost in dreams of whatever children dream about. The same simple wishes and wandering thoughts that children have always had. In another apartment, an old woman sits by a small lamp, spinning wool on a drop spindle. The motion is automatic, performed by hands that have done this work for 60 years or more. The wool twists and lengthens, falls and rises. A meditation that requires no conscious thought. She hums quietly to herself, a tune without words, without beginning or end, just a soft melody that fills the space around her. The streets outside are growing quieter now, though Rome never fully sleeps. There are always footsteps somewhere, always voices, but they are fewer and more distant as the night deepens. The shops are shuttered, their wooden doors closed and locked, the goods stored away until morning, Only the taverns remain open, dim spaces where men gather to drink and talk, where dice clatter on tables and occasional laughter spills out into the night. But even these will close eventually, their patrons stumbling home through the dark streets. We pass a public bathhouse, its doors now closed for the night. During the day, these baths are the social heart of the neighborhood, places where people gather to bathe and gossip, to exercise and relax, to conduct business and maintain friendships. The baths are heated by great furnaces. Their warm rooms, a luxury available to almost everyone for a small fee. But now the fires have been banked, the rooms are cooling, and the only sound is the drip of water echoing in the empty chambers. The moon is rising, nearly full, casting silver light over the rooftops and the distant dome of the Pantheon, its perfect geometry a marvel even in darkness. From here, we can see the silhouette of temples on the Capitoline Hill, the sacred center of the city, where the great temple of Jupiter stands watch over Rome. But these grand structures feel distant now, monumental but remote, while the life we are observing is intimate and close. The life of ordinary people in ordinary moments. In a small apartment, a couple prepares for bed. They wash their hands and feet in a basin, the water cool and refreshing. They say a brief prayer at their household shrine, a small alcove where images of the Lares, the household gods, watch over the family. A small offering of food is left, a piece of bread or cake, a gesture of respect and continuity. These rituals are ancient and unquestioned, woven into the fabric of daily life as naturally as breathing. They climb into bed, a simple wooden frame with rope supports and a mattress of wool or straw, covered with linen sheets and woolen blankets. The mattress sinks beneath them, familiar and comfortable. They talk quietly for a few moments, reviewing the day, making plans for tomorrow. The soft murmur of married conversation that requires few words because so much is already understood. Then silence settles over them and sleep begins to claim them, pulling them down into its dark comfort. Outside, the watchmen make their rounds, moving slowly through the streets, checking that all is well. Their footsteps and low voices a reassurance rather than a disturbance. The night watch is a constant presence, protecting the sleeping city from fire and theft, though mostly they encounter nothing more threatening than a stray dog or a drunk trying to find his way home. The city breathes in its sleep, thousands of lives folded into rest, into the deep quiet that comes when consciousness releases its grip. The lamps are guttering now, their oil nearly spent, the flames growing smaller and dimmer. In the darkness, Rome is a collection of sounds and shadows. The creak of timber settling, the whisper of wind between buildings, the distant sound of water flowing in the aqueducts and fountains, the great invisible infrastructure that sustains this city of 1,000,000 souls. And we too can let ourselves settle into this ancient darkness, into the peace of knowing that cities have always slept this way, that people have always moved through their evenings toward rest, that the patterns of life are continuous and comforting. The streets are quiet, the lamps are fading, the night enfolds Rome in its gentle darkness, and we can fold ourselves into that same rest, letting go of the day, letting go of thought, drifting down into sleep as the eternal city sleeps around us. The last lamp flickers and dies. The last voice fades to silence. There is only the night now, vast and peaceful, and we can rest here, safe in its embrace, letting the ancient stones hold us while we sleep. Sleep well, traveller.